Well, nobody wants to worry about the chemicals in their pizza box each time they want a quick meal, right? The FDA passing legislation banning the sale of commonly used PFAS in grease-proofing substances from being used in food packaging. These are typically found in popcorn bags, fast food wrappers, and pet food bags. PFAS can cause cancer and have other negative health effects.
I really caution against food fear, against chemical fear, because everything is made out of chemicals. But this is one that I would recommend paying attention to. I'm really cautious in recommending restriction of cooking types or of food products because that can be very limiting for people.
The FDA says it may take a while for manufacturers to go through food packaging stock they already have on hand. Iverson says non-stick pans are another area of concern when it comes to PFAS, but the FDA says that for now, they're safe to use.